If you frequent the internet, and especially websites such as Facebook, Twitter, or Reddit, you have undoubtedly seen the following picture. Initially, there is nothing too special about it, except that it shows what appears to be a crowd of fanatical Nazis giving the Hitler salute. And it wasn't until the photograph was published in the German newspaper Die Zeit in 1991 that the photograph was recognized for its peculiarity. Because if you look closer, you'll see that one man in the entire crowd does not raise his right arm. And that isn't because he is late in raising it or that the photograph is simply taken at an unfortunate moment. No, this man deliberately crosses his arms and refuses to bring the Nazi salute. So, what's the story behind this photo? And more importantly, what's the story behind this man that defiantly stood up against one of the most illustrative examples of a totalitarian regime? Well, let's start with the story behind the photograph. It was taken on the 13th of June 1936 during the launching of the Horst Wessel, a sailing vessel known as a bark. For the occasion, Hitler made his way to Hamburg to give a speech to the onlooking crowd that consisted of employees of the shipyard Blohm and Voss. Knowing the place, date, and shipyard the photograph was taken at, it should be enough information to track down who this man was. Yet, it wasn't that clear-cut. The picture was rediscovered in an archive during the 90s, and once the man on the photograph was seen refusing to salute, it received a huge amount of media attention. Following its discovery, an article was printed in the Hamburger Abendblatt with a request for anyone that knew who this man was to get in touch. A woman, Irma Eckler, contacted the newspaper. She claimed the man on the photograph was her father. Her father, August Landmesser, worked at the shipyard Blohm and Voss and became a member of Hitler's political party, the National-socialist German Workers' Party, in 1931. According to his family, he became a member in the hopes that it would be easier for him to find work, because after all, Germany suffered immensely under the effects of the Great Depression. The fact Hitler's party basically campaigned on an overtly antisemitic message didn't bother him. That was until 1934 when he met Irma Eckler, a Jewish woman. August fell head over heels in love with Irma, and the couple started dating. It led to him being kicked out of the party once his fellow party members discovered his girlfriend was Jewish. His expulsion from the party didn't result in the end of the relationship, though. Neither did the creation of the so-called Nuremberg laws in 1935. These laws forbade extramarital intercourse and marriage between Jews and Germans, and rendered all Jewish civilians subjects without any citizenship rights. For August and Irma, this meant they could not marry. That same year, the couple had their first daughter, Ingrid. Due to the Nuremberg laws, their first daughter wasn't recognized as a German citizen, and formally she was considered to be born out of wedlock. Undoubtedly, this increasingly hostile environment and tightening of the grip of the odious Nazi apparatus fed August's disappointment and frustration with Hitler's regime. And that was a situation that led to the photograph to be taken. When Hitler gave his speech to employees of the shipyard, August had ample reason to keep his arms crossed and defy the custom to bring the Nazi salute. It led to the photo that is a powerful picture of individual resistance in the face of totalitarian terror. So following all this, does the story of August and Irma have a happy ending? Well, 1 year after the photograph was taken, Irma became pregnant with her second child, and the couple realized there was no future in Nazi Germany and decided to cross the border with Denmark to try and flee the country. They were caught and subsequently arrested, however. Both were charged with Blutschande, which translates to as much as blood disgrace, because of Irma's Jewish descent. Yet because the Nazis couldn't properly establish Irma's full ancestry, the couple got away with a warning and not to be seen together again. Multiple arrests over the next weeks followed, because they stayed together and defied the verdict of the court. 2 months after the verdict, the couple was arrested again by the Gestapo, the secret state police. August was sentenced to hard labor in concentration camp Bürgermoor. He was released 3 years later in 1941 to work in a transport company, and in February 1944 he was conscripted in a penal military unit, the 999th Light Africa Division. That is the last we know of him, and it is commonly accepted he was most likely killed by Yugoslav partisans during the retreat around the Croatian municipality of Ston, around the age of 34. In 1949, August Landmesser was officially declared dead. As for Irma, she was arrested as well and had her second daughter, Irene, in prison Voorsbuter. Following the arrest, she was shipped to several concentration camps, ending up in concentration camp Ravensbrück. Here she was hospitalized and probably together with other patients murdered in 1942. Following their arrest, August and Irma didn't see each other anymore. Their 2 daughters did survive the war, however. Following their parents' arrest, they were initially placed in an orphanage, and Ingrid eventually moved to her grandmother's house, with Irene being placed in a foster family. When the photograph of the shipyard was published in the German newspaper, Irene recognized her father and identified him. It led to August's and Irma's story to be brought to widespread public attention. But there's another person that claims to recognize the person on the photograph. Wolfgang Wegert recognized a man that refused to salute as his father, Gustav. The story of Wegert is less detailed than that of August, simply because there is less information available about his life. Gustav certainly worked for the Blohm and Voss firm between 1934 and 1945, so it is possible he was at the shipyard when Hitler came and gave his speech. Because of his strong Christian beliefs, Gustav was vehemently opposed to the Nazi ideology. Another anecdote about Hitler coming to a place to speak at where Gustav was supposed to be at ended with Gustav going to church instead of attending the event. Throughout the war, Gustav's wife was incredibly worried about the way he positioned himself to the Nazis, but he managed to survive the war and didn't get in trouble, as far as we can tell. One theory goes that one of his employers protected him from repercussions. It's unlikely we'll ever discover the absolute truth about the photograph, because both August and Gustav's belief make a strong case for why they would refuse to bring the Hitler salute. What is for sure is that the photograph that was buried in an archive for 50 years made a great impact when it was discovered and became a well-known symbol of resistance. Thank you for watching this video. If there's a topic or event you'd like to know more about, let me know your thoughts in a comment. I would also like to thank all my patrons for their generous support. If you enjoy House of History and want to support my work, consider checking me out on Patreon. For just $1 a month, you will already gain access to the exclusive Patreon series. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.